What's up, guys? It's Mr. Spectacular here. In this video, instead of doing just a regular market update, we're going to break it up a little bit today. We're going to do something different. We're going to look at Bitcoin exclusively, the near-term view, the view for this year, and the view for next year, what I expect to happen, and my thoughts on the crypto market as a whole. Before we get into it, let me just make sure everybody understands here. This is not financial advice. This should be treated as education only. I will try to crack a few jokes so we can classify as entertainment as well. But in plain English, don't be a dumbass, guys. When you're investing, realize this comes with risk. You could make a whole bunch of money, you could lose everything. And it all depends on how you play it and how the market goes as a whole. Because as we've seen in the bull market, you don't need to be a genius. You just need to get in at the right time. So this is the chart of Bitcoin. And let me just make sure we're on the weekly. That's a chart of Bitcoin from, well, 2015. Doesn't really interest us very much. But from the peak of the last bull run, which was for Bitcoin just mid-December 2017. So we can say 2017, 2018. That's where Bitcoin peaked out. Now, what we've seen was a massive correction, a bit of a bounce, another correction, a bit of a bounce. And the pattern just kept repeating itself until we hit a massive bottom just around February 2019. So we had a year and a bit of a bear market. Now, what Bitcoin proceeded to do was we had this accumulation phase over here, and then we had this massive run up, then the May crash, and then again we peaked out at 69. Be aware we didn't close the weekly at 69. We didn't even close the daily at 69. We just peaked out at 69K. And now we are over here. So one of the key things to remember is all this growth that we've had, that happened after the crash in 2020 with the thing I will not name, just in case somebody's listening. Right here, March 2020 had this massive dip, which if we look at the percentages, that was a 60% drop. 60% in the middle, well, at the start, really, of the bull market. I was not investing at the time. However, the people who were in have told me some stories, and the overall sentiment was, look, the financial world is coming to an end. It's all gonna crash. It's all gonna go to zero. We're all gonna lose all our money. But then the Fed in the United States, they turned on the money printer. They have pumped up an enormous amount of brand new cash into the economy. I believe around 40% of the US dollars currently in circulation have been printed during 2020. So that's an enormous amount of money that has entered the market. We've experienced this enormous run up from around 4K, all the way up to just under 65K. So from March 2020 to March 2021, we did 1,400%. So if you'd invested 100 grand just in Bitcoin alone, you would have had 1.4 million. Now, what fueled that growth was a whole lot of new money coming in and a whole lot of new people coming into the market, and everybody was getting richer, 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 because there was a constant inflow of new people getting into the market. So one person got in, next person got in, next person got in, and everybody's bags just kept pumping and pumping and pumping. Now then we've had the May crash, things bottomed out around 29K, and then we've had this massive run up to a new all-time high of 69K. And we've peaked in November, just around the time when the Fed announced they were going to start bringing down, tapering the money printer and increasing interest rates. Now, the reason that is significant is because as interest rates go up, that becomes more expensive and people are less inclined to spend money. So from also the fact that because of all the money printing that they did, now we have an enormous inflation, which they say is 7.5% in America. I believe it's a complete lie. I believe it's at least 20-25%. Because here's the thing, the way they calculate, and we're going to go off to just like many different topics now, guys. This video might even take half an hour, but let's go for it. If you have the patience to sit through it, if you're willing to understand it, let's dig into it. So the way they calculate inflation, the consumer price index, whatever it's called, is they calculate it on a select basket of goods that they select at will. So let's say 1 year we look at bread, butter, beef, and cheese. Next year we take cigarettes, whiskey, vodka, and I don't know, burgers. What they are not putting into this index, they're not including, is the price of the stock market, which have gone ridiculously high. If we look at just at the S&P 500, again, we've been up only since March 2020. The value of the 500 most biggest companies in America has gone up by about 110. I can't see because of this, the way the screen set up. Has gone up by at least 110, 115% just in that time. So they're not counting stocks, they're not counting crypto, they're not counting real estate, they're not counting all the stuff that they don't want to count. They don't count a Rolex, which Rolexes have blown up in price. Look, I spoke to my mom back in Poland. She says the price of coal between this year and last year has gone double. So how do you want to tell me inflation is 7%? It's not. However, most people don't know this information, so they are just comfortable not knowing, because if they knew, everybody would panic and the whole thing would end pretty badly. So we've had all this new money coming in. Yeah. The supply of new money has been increasingly drying up, because even though the Fed have not yet increased the interest rates, they've said they're gonna, and the market reacts to what is going to happen not what's actually happening. So it's the fear of a future event that is going to move the price in the present. So by the time we get to that event, it's most likely already priced in. And some people say, well, they're going to raise the rates, but then the market is going to go really, really bad. It's going to go down. So to revive the market, they're going to turn on the money printer again, and we're going to go back up. I don't think that's going to be the case. And let me give you the reason why. In America, which they claim to be the richest country in the world, they're not, but whatever. Let's just assume they are. The vast majority of people have less than $1,000 saved in their bank account. $1,000. They don't own any real estate. They don't own a house. They don't own any stocks. They don't own any crypto. They've most likely never heard of crypto, and if they did, they thought it's a scam. All these people know is, I keep going to work year by year. I make the same money, or I get a 2% raise. And the prices of my stuff keep going up and up and up and up every year. So that's the majority of people. That's the majority of the people who are going to go and vote in elections. So who are the Fed and the politicians going to care about more? Are they going to care about the, by comparison, small group of rich people, which, guys, these guys make the laws. Yeah, they're going to get out first. So them or their friends will be taken care of. The smart money, the funds, they will get out because they know what's going on. But everybody else will get dumped on because they have to crush the market in order to bring down inflation. And when that's significantly low enough, then we might start going up again, and things will get bullish again. But looking at Bitcoin specifically, what I would assume is going to happen, let's look again at 2018. What happened when this thing peaked out? So, and this is where it's going to get really interesting. Let's just spread it out a bit more. So, and this, a lot of it will tie into the first episode that I did together with Michael, where we talked about the psyops and how the whales control the market and manipulate perceptions. So here we have this massive run up from September all the way to December. Yeah, we print a peak, take a bit of a dip for a couple of days, but the dip keeps getting bought up, you see. In one of the future videos that I'm going to drop, I'm going to talk about reflexivity, but essentially it's a concept that in short just means higher prices lead to higher prices and lower prices lead to lower prices. So when things are going up, people have a tendency to think they're going to go up forever. So they're like, oh, it's dipped a little bit, let's buy, because they've seen all this entire massive run up, and they're like, wow, I've missed out on all this. I don't want to miss out more. It's going to keep going up. Everybody says it's going to go to, well, it was at 18 and 19K. I think predictions of 50 at that time would have been pretty reasonable. If you've been around at that time, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, we print this peak. We're down for a couple of days. We keep going up. We have a new all-time high. And then things start crashing. Again, massive wick, gets bought up. Couple days of not a whole lot of action, and then couple bullish days, couple days where we go up. Massive green candle. People start thinking, okay, this is not over. This is just a dip. Buy the dip. Buy the dip, another psyop. And then we go on a massive nuke. We nuke. Oh, a little bit of a bounce. Maybe it's over. No, nuke. Nuke after nuke after nuke after nuke until we hit the actual bottom a year later. So coming over to today. Just making sure I'm recording, not talking to myself. Again, we've had this massive peak. We've been down, 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 down. Bit of a relief over here. And we're down at 38K at this moment. Right now, it's a lot of fear in the market, lots of uncertainty. Again, with Fed and the rates. So here's my theory. A lot of people are saying right now this thing's going to zero. It's going down. Like the only way it can go is down. And I think in the long term, we are gonna go down, and we'll get that in a second. I think 20K for Bitcoin is pretty realistic. Which, if Bitcoin takes a 50% nuke, imagine what's gonna happen to all the alts. They're gonna get slaughtered. But we'll get to that in a second. See what I'm thinking, and that's based off my personal analysis, the talks I've had with Michael and Ninja, and also what I've studied through my mentors. What I'm thinking is we're gonna have a massive fake out, like a massive dead cat bounce. So we're at 38K now. And remember, people are still, even with this massive decline, people are still talking about Bitcoin's going to hit 100K this year. I doubt it. So we're at 38. I think it's pretty realistic for us to maybe range a little bit here between 38 and 42. Then shoot up to around 50, maybe 52 for Bitcoin. Just to make people think we're going up. So they can FOMO back in, so the whales can get more and more liquidity. Again, we talked about this in the first video, so if you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch it. I think we go to around 50K, 52 maybe. And then we go on a massive nuke. Massive. To where people will lose a whole lot of money. They'll be panicked. They will be saying again, Bitcoin's going to zero, it's over. And I think at some point this year, we are pretty likely to touch somewhere around 20. See, the peak of the last bull market was just over 19K, 18, 19K. So here's the thing. Whoever got in here they're still in massive profit, guys. They don't need Bitcoin to go to 100K in order to have massive gains. Remember, these guys that got in here, they've been selling all the way down here. Now what I think is going to happen is we're going to have a bounce up, we're going to have more liquidity enter, and then we'll go down. Because look at percentages. Let's say you bought the bottom. Let's say you bought here at 3K. You're still up 11x. If you put in $1 million, you still have 10 million. It's not bad. It's not a bad return. So there's a whole lot lower that this thing can go. And what would be quite likely is because, again, once this thing starts going down, everybody's going to be thinking, okay, we're going down to 20. We're going down to 20. We might not. We might end up at around around 22. Just around here. And then maybe have a really, really big annoying wick that gets formed within half an hour just to stop everybody out. And then I think from here, 2023 is going to be pretty bullish. So that's all the doom and gloom. However, there is some good news for you. See, a lot of you, you've not been in this game for a whole lot of time. You're still fairly new. That's why you're watching this video, because you want to know what the hell you're doing and what the hell to do, right? So here's why I'm excited, and here's why you should be excited. One, when things are bearish and uncertain, that's when you really learn to trade. That's when you really learn to hone in on your skills. That's one. Because if things are up only, you don't learn a whole lot. You don't learn to drive up very well if the road is only straight. That's one thing. You are given the time, you're given the luxury of time to learn what the hell you're doing. So that when the opportunity comes, one, your skill set is ready. And if you want some help with that, give me a shout, book some lessons, watch the previous videos, because there's a wealth of information on this channel, both from me, Michael, Ninja, and everybody else that's coming in to contribute. So that's one. Two, that gives you a whole lot of time to be stacking cash. Stacking cash for the purpose of investing and buying the real bottom. Here's the thing, guys. If you have £1,000 and you put it into Bitcoin at 20K and it goes to 100, okay, you've made 5K. It's all right. But what if you have 50? What if you have 100? So that gives you time to build your income streams, build up your income, build up your cash, stack that cash. So when the opportunity comes, you're ready. You're ready to pull the trigger. And then, here's the thing. And I've said it a couple of times, I don't know why, but here's another thing, all right? You don't want to be buying from a willing seller? Let me explain. Let's say you think you found the next 100x coin. Why? Who? I'm gonna do my best not to swear. Who in their right mind, unless they're an absolute idiot, would sell you a coin that is about to do 100x? Why wouldn't they just keep it? See, if you look back, at the last crash, the last bear market, there were people who bought up here. There were people who bought up here. See, whoever bought down here, they were more than happy to sell it to you because they were in enormous profits and you were just holding their bag. The guy who bought down here, well, not down here, up here, yeah? The guy who bought up here, he has sustained an 80% loss. He took all his money, he bought Bitcoin at the top, it took an 80% dive. Now he can't sleep at night. His wife left him because he's a loser. He's about to get kicked out of his house. And he's like, please, please, please just take this Bitcoin off of me so I can pay my rent. That's the scenario you want to be buying in. You want to be buying after somebody's just like, they sell not because they want to, but because they have to. And I don't think we're at that point yet. I think once we get right around here, that's where the mass panic will kick in. And say again, not financial advice, just my opinion, but I mean, that's a pretty good territory because Bitcoin's not going away, I don't think. Again, just my opinion, but I don't think it's going away. So I think this is it. Let me just think if there's anything else I want to add. But yeah, guys, you don't want to be buying from a willing seller. You want to be buying when somebody got liquidated or somebody's just at such a massive loss that they have no other option but to sell. So to reiterate my point, I think next couple of weeks fairly bullish. 2022 bearish, and then bullish from then on. I don't think we're going to have an extended multi-year bear market because there is quite a lot of adoption coming in, and there's more and more happening every day. So guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. I have no idea how long I went for, at least 20 minutes probably, maybe 30. But I thought to explain this properly, I can't just do a 1-minute Instagram reel. This has to be got into with significant detail. So if you've made it this far, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you supporting us, coming to this channel. If you like this video, hit that like button, helps the algorithm. If you like this kind of stuff, want to learn more about this sort of analysis, shoot me a message, book a session. And if you want to trade with me, jump in on the trades that I do. There is a link in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. And there's a link in our bio if you're watching on Instagram for our Signal service. So check that out if you want. Thank you for your time. Have a spectacular day. I'll see you in the next video.